Hi guys, I wanted to make a new video and I wanted to talk about a topic which is friendship and friends and the people you spend time with and how important it is to at least know what influence the kind of people you spend time with have on you, because they have a big impact on you and your decision making and your character and all your life. And so it's very important to at least know what kind of people you spend time with, and maybe even to like sanitize this area of your life, and to even choose what kind of people you want to spend time with and what kind of people you want to have an impact on your decisions in your life. So one big mistake that many people make is they think their parents could decide something for them, which is generally speaking just not the case, because your parents are much older than you. They live a much different life. They know you very well, but they have never been in your situation, and they have been in such a different context, especially nowadays where life like speeds up. Life gets quicker like all the time. Every year we kind of experience a bigger growth in whatever technology and all these things. So many of our parents grew up without the internet, without computers, without smartphones, of course, unimaginable for us. And so we live a totally different life, which has other priorities and where other things count, also in society, in our generation. So never think that your parents really could make smart decisions for you. I think that's a very important point. Also, they might have experienced a bigger form of existential threat or risk. For us, it's more like, for us, let's say young people, we don't really bear big risks, because you can fail. You can just try something and fail and go over again and start over. And I think it's because the world is so globalized. You can just move to a different city, and it's easier to meet new people, and it's more accepted in society to be this kind of nomad life person, where before it was more like you were in your city, and moving around that much wasn't that common. So you didn't have really the chance to fuck it up at one place and then just go somewhere else and start over. I think so. Many things changed. So don't listen to your parents too much, even though they love you and you love them probably. Another point that I wanted to talk about is, of course, friends. So your friends have a big impact on you. You have to there are different types of friends. There are friends that you can like talk about old times with. There are friends who you can discuss ideas, and there are friends who you can actually execute with and actually get on things and start doing things. And I think the last one is very rare, because it requires that you can be very bored together, I think, to actually be able to execute together. And I think many relationships are actually pretty shallow sometimes, where you just like have small talk and you talk all the time, but it's hard to just shut up and be quiet together. But I think this is what is required to also work together or execute together. And so what you really want is, you want people around you, and in your own head you want to think the same way that they treat you, which you do anyway. So that's why it's so important to have a good circle around you and good close people around you, because you will think of yourself the way they treat you. Of course you can influence it both ways, but it's much harder to think positive of yourself if the people around you treat you like shit. And the same goes the other way around. If the people around you treat you like you need to account to your actions, or you need to be held responsible to your actions, you will hold yourself responsible, which is super important. And so that needs to be really, really clear. And you want to be around people who discuss future you or future them. You don't want to be around people who discuss like whatever history you might have, or whatever like has happened in the past, but you want to have people who are happy, you know, because sad people will always find something to complain about in the past, always and ever. But happy people will always be able to say, okay, whatever shit happens, doesn't matter, we go on. And these are the kind of people that look into the future, that are innovative and that are able to just move on and to just live life, basically. And look into the kind of bright side of life, or at least go forward and look into the future, you know. Those are the kind of people you want to hang around with actually. And they are hard to find because everyone feels so demoralized. I think it's a consequence of social media, you know, because basically how life used to be, you used to be in a situation and you could affect it all the time, you know. You could just, if you saw something happen that you didn't like, you could just go there and whatever, intervene, you know, or stop the situation, or you could like act, whatever it was. Or if you saw something great, like whatever, a beautiful woman, you could just go there and ask her out. Or if you saw funny people, you could just go there and talk to them. And so life was interactive, fundamentally, only, always. And so I think this interactivity that used to be life got lost with social media, because now you only watch a dead screen. It's dead. It's just like dead matter. You only watch people doing things, and you only watch things happening that you have no control over, that are far beyond your horizon, that you will never meet, that actually have nothing to do with your life. Not really. If you think about your life, what's your life? Your life is your routines, your daily tasks, the people you meet daily. Yeah, of course, my life might also be Amazon, but still Jeff Bezos, still, I don't know him, you know, I will never meet him, like, probably not. So he's not really part of my life. It's not really important. It's not important for my life. People say, oh yeah, but he founded Amazon, so he must be important. It doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter for my life. I still know him and I still watch him because I think he's just successful, you know, he's many things to learn from him, but there's nothing that he would have an impact on my life with, you know. Not really. Like, I mean, some things are good to know, but you get the point. So the point really is that whatever you see here, you have no ability to interact with. You have no chance to change the course of things that you see here, at least for the very least of them. Maybe some friends you might see here, but those you can also see in real life. And so people sit there, when people before, like in older days, people used to go out like with friends, and then they like played, or they fought, or they had fun, or they laughed. And nowadays, people on average, I think it's like 4 or 5 hours a day, they sit on their phones like fucking zombies, or like being dead. They sit there 4 or 5 hours just staring on their phone like they were dead. Of course they get depressed. Of course you're depressed. Of course you're depressed because your mind is not connected to your body. Because your mind lives a certain life, like your life. It lives in your ideas and in your world, but your body doesn't. At least not for 4 hours a day, where it's just like does this. And you might think in your head, okay, I like whatever I see. Fair, yeah. You do, and there's good content on social media, and you can whatever use it to learn and to build skills or something. But I think when we come back now to the topic of the friends you spend time with, you have to understand that many people are deeply sick. I will call it, they are sick, and it's the reason that so many people are unhappy and sad and demoralized. They're just demoralized, like having no control over their lives. And it's not to whatever insult them or something, not the least. It's just for you to understand that yeah, it's like a virus, you know, like being on your phone 4 days and basically not really doing much, just doom scrolling. It's like people would call it sick. People who have some understanding of whatever, how you live your day or your life, and so yeah, and just understand that when you're around people, like how active, how capable are they to put action into their life, or how much are they just told what to do by whatever, a phone, or you know, how able are they to change the life into their favor. That's a really important point. And yeah, I think that's it pretty much. Just think about it. First of all, you have to understand what your situation is, and you have to be not lying about it. You have to be honest with yourself and understand what your situation is. And for that, you need different perspectives and like point of views on your situation, on your life, and the people you spend time with. For example, I used to talk to my mother about like everything, like to a certain until a certain time. I used to talk about everything with her, and I used to ask her about everything, like her opinion really, and what should I do and these kind of things. And that's bad. It's horrible because as I said, she would never understand. It's worlds, you know, between my life and her life. That's worlds. So she couldn't. I love her and she loves me, but that's not how life works. And so yeah, so it's important for you to understand what kind of influence have people on you. And also you should have a good relationship to your father if you're a guy. That's super important, because your father is a person who's very, very special for you, because he's the only person, or one of the very few people, who most likely does not compete with you and still is like active towards you, you know, like the people who are very close, those are the very few people who still have like your brother, your father, the people who have an active influence on your life, but who don't necessarily compete with you. You know, it's different to friends. Friends will just drop you at a certain point. There's a threshold to everything, you know. But for the family members, especially your father, this threshold is super high, like super fucking high. And you can make a lot of mistakes probably, and you'd still have an action input into your life. And this is what you need. You need action. You don't need to discuss your whereas with a bunch of women or something. You need to have the kind of people around you that hold yourself accountable to your actions and to your life. And yeah, basically that's what you need. And it's so hard because nowadays many people are lying to themselves, because they know that they don't live good or healthy often. And so when I drive the metro or something, everyone looks fucking depressive. Like everyone looks like as if someone died or something. Like, so many people are like super sad and super alone and lonely. And so yeah, just think of that, you know, be the change, be the change you want for the world, or something like this. Yeah. Yeah, anyway, think about it.